Let's admit it, taking someone one-on-one and beating them is one of the most fun things to do in football. But if you're missing some of these habits that we're going to go over in this video, 5 to be exact, you're going to make it so that you're beating players less and less. And so I want to make it so that you're actually beating players more often, not less, so that you're confident going into your 1v1 situations. So that's coming up next. Guys, this video is brought to you by The Standout Footballer, where you can get 4 training programs for the price of 1. You can check out the link in the description I've given you. And so if you're looking to get some proven systems, some training programs that are really going to help take your game to that next level and get 4 of them that all work on different areas, then check that out down below. It's a great deal for you to invest in. I only do this every now and then, and I'm opening it up for the next few days. So get in if that's something that's interesting to you, and let's get into the rest of the video. Hi there, my name is Dave and this is Simplysoccer. If you are new to the channel, where we are releasing videos every single week to help you improve your game and stand out on the pitch. Now, if you really want to improve your game, get my free ebook Game Changer down below. I'll put it in the description for you. It's a 50+ page ebook, just chock full of valuable information that's going to help your game in many different ways. Now, without further ado, let's get into what these 1v1 habits are that are going to help you beat your opponent more often than not, starting in reverse order with number 5. And number 5 is to find your style. So this is going to be a little bit different than what I usually go over, but most players who are really good at taking others one-on-one have a particular style, particular moves that they lean on. Now, this doesn't mean you shouldn't learn different styles of taking players one-on-one. This doesn't mean you shouldn't learn different skill moves, but you want to have things that you are so good at, your go-to, that you can beat players doing that more often than not. A typical example I could give you was when Ian Robin was playing in his prime, his go-to was what? Was to find a way to cut inside onto his dominant foot and then take it from there. Now, players knew he was going to do this at some point. They didn't know when, but it was something he was so good at, a style he had, that he beat players more often than not. Again, don't make it so you're not learning other things and you become one-dimensional, but you may have something that you'll go to, and if it's working, keep doing it. For example, you might be the kind of player that loves to run at players quickly and put them under pressure, or you might be someone who likes to come to a stop and then do some kind of move to get back going and beat your opponent. Again, you can mix different things, but find what your natural style is, your strength is in this area, and work on developing that. In fact, guys, in the comments put, I am confident in 1v1 situations. Align yourself to that. Remember that. Be confident going into these situations. Put that down below, and we'll go into number 4. Now, number 4 is going to be talking about one of the styles I was kind of mentioning, and it's attack, attack, attack. One thing I love to do when I get the ball and I have an isolated opponent is to attack them, especially if I don't have a better option, and attacking the opposition is going to potentially lead to openings, to space opening up, potentials to shoot, cross, play a key pass, or whatever else it is. I love to put my opponent under pressure and then use certain skill moves, use certain changes in directions, cuts, or whatever else it is. Even if I put them under pressure, I have to turn back, I still like to do it because it kind of sets the tone of I'm going to attack you. And a lot of defenders will actually get nervous about this. Again, if you're attacking and losing the ball every single time, then you need to either, look at your skill and look at your ability to do that, or you maybe need to stop it. It might be that defender just has your number on that day. But I love to be able to put a defender under pressure, and it's something to really think about. If you look at some of the best dribblers, again, we can look at Robin, we can look at the Messis, the Ronaldos, they will run at people and put them under pressure. This is a great thing to be able to do in 1v1 situations, and it's probably one of the most fundamental things you can do in 1v1 situations as well, is really attack them, keep the ball close, but go at speed, and wait for that opening so that you can beat them or do a skill move and try and beat them to the byline, cut in, or whatever else it is you're going to do. But really attack people. Don't be that player who never goes at their opponent. So if this has been helpful so far, or it resonates with you, hit that like button and we'll move on to number 3. So number 3 is have some skill moves. Now, playing off that last one of attacking, you're going to want some skill moves that you have mastered. I'm not talking about, oh, I know how to do this move because I did it once. I mean, these are moves you are intentionally and deliberately working on in training. These are moves your go-to moves that you've mastered. You've done the step over so many times, you've done it in matches, you know how to do it perfectly, and you have certain skill moves like that in your repertoire. I always recommend players start off with 3 moves and master 3 moves. The example I like to give are 3 moves I like to be really good at. It's the step over, the body feint, feint and the Cruyff turn, because those allow me to operate in so many different situations. But have skill moves that you can use. Have skill moves that you have mastered and will help you beat opponents. Seriously, having certain good feints and chops and cuts and things that you can do to bamboozle or fool the defender is going to help you so much in 1v1 situations. And if you don't have these available as a part of your ability yet, get out there and start practicing them, because it'll be so valuable having these skill moves in your arsenal when you go to take someone one-on-one. Number 2 is know when. So this is when we're getting into the more nuanced things when it comes to taking someone one-on-one. You need to know when to do your skill move. You need to know when to react, when to take someone one-on-one even, and when to pass it off. You know, like anything in football, decision-making plays a huge part. You can look at it in shooting, when to shoot, when not to shoot, when to pass, when not to pass, which direction to take your first touch in to control, when to shield, when to go at someone, when to back off, whatever else it is. You know, even on the defensive side, you could be like when to dive in and put pressure and when to back off a little bit. Decision making runs so much of the game. It determines so much of how good a player you're going to be, and that's the same in 1v1 situations. Now, if you keep taking someone one-on-one and you keep winning, you know, I would say keep doing that. But you also, in most situations, especially when you're playing good players, you want to take calculated risks, and that includes 1v1 situations. You need to know when to take someone one-on-one and when it's best to pass it off. Or even take someone one-on-one and it's time to pass instead of taking another person one-on-one. And so you want to look at these situations and go, what's the best thing I can do in this situation? Again, you're not going to be able to sit there and think about it. This is something that you just get used to the more you play, but it's something you can start thinking about in your training, right? What situations are the best time to take someone one-on-one? Okay, it's congested here. Is it really the best time to go running at someone because it looks like there'll be 3 players around me if I do that, versus, oh, it's isolated, and if I beat this person, I have a lot of space to work with afterwards, right? So in that situation, it'd probably be better to take him on, and in the other situation, it probably wouldn't be. And you need to be able to recognize these patterns and these situations so that you know when to take players one-on-one and when it's probably not the best to do so. And number 1 is to complete the sequence, complete the play. And this is something some players forget about when they take players one-on-one. They think the whole point is just taking the player one-on-one. But what beating a player one-on-one does is it creates space or more opportunities or more options after you've beaten that player. For example, when you beat a player on the wing, it gives you more space to potentially get the cross in, maybe cut back inside and shoot, or do something else. And you want to exploit that very quickly. For example, as a striker, I love to beat someone one-on-one just enough to create a yard of space to shoot, but I'm thinking about what I'm going to be doing afterwards. I'm not just going to beat the person one-on-one and then kind of revel in the fact that I've done that. And so you want to complete the sequence. Remember, beating someone one-on-one is cool. Yes, it feels good, but it is not the end goal. The end goal is to, you know, in most of those situations, get in a good cross and hopefully score or shoot or whatever, create more space or whatever else it is. So you need to be ready to do something afterwards. Because if you keep beating someone one-on-one, but you can't put in a good cross, well, then what's the point? If you beat someone one-on-one and you're not able to then thread the pass needed after that, then what's the point? If you're able to beat someone one-on-one and you can't shoot, you know, afterwards, or you're shooting so bad or you don't know to do it, you know, what's the point? So really think about, okay, great, after I beat someone one-on-one, then what, right? After I beat him, what do I do afterward? And so you want to make sure you're good at the situation that's going to happen after you've beaten someone one-on-one. For example, if you're a winger, I say this all the time, please learn how to cross the ball effectively. Because I know any strikers out there or even midfielders that make those late runs into the box, how frustrating is it to have a winger or someone who's out wide who can't cross to save their life? Doesn't matter how cool or how amazing they beat the player one-on-one to get in that situation if they don't have the end product. That's another way of saying it. Make sure you have the end product, or at least the end of that particular sequence. And so that's something to think about. You know, after you've beaten the person one-on-one, how can you take advantage? You know, because the whole point, again, of beating that person is to give yourself more options. It's to give yourself the opportunity to do something after you've beaten the person one-on-one. All right, so those are 5 one-on-one habits that are just gonna help you stand out more, that I really personally believe you should develop. Some things for you to think about, get out there and practice. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to this video, and I'll see you in the next one.